Everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some of Simic Badger Mole Cub with Craterhoof Behemoth in best of 3. I haven't played best of 3 much, but this is the list played by Young Dingo where he won the challenge with it, and he was doing that on MTGO for I think an 8-1 record, but I am going to be playing. The idea, obviously, is to play around Badger Mole Cub and then have a lot of mana accelerants early, even if maybe copying with Mockingbird. But honestly, copying Badger Mole Cub with Mockingbird or our opponent's Badger Mole Cub with Mockingbird is where it's really at, as you'll see in some of the games. Leyline Weaver continues to be really, really impressive. This card is just that really awkward one that makes the math weird on calculating what your opponent can do, because you then cast an Ouroboros and then it untaps, and you're like, well, it is making 2 mana every time with a Badger Mole Cub, and then sometimes you have 2 Badger Mole Cubs, and now Leyline Weaver makes 3, and then you cast Ouroboros and untaps. Now there's 3 more mana available, plus probably other mana sources to cast our Nature's Rhythm, which is why we're lower on a Craterhoof here and just only playing 1. Because if we have enough mana to play Craterhoof, we probably have enough mana to Nature's Rhythm. And this card is oftentimes good enough if you play an Ouroboros to just go fetch a second one. As you'll see against one of the blue-black decks, we kind of do that. Or, no, that was before I started recording. But we used this kind of combo to run 2 Ouroboros out, so their Tidebinder wasn't good enough to stop both, and it just outgrew everything and won that way. Our sideboard's in here as well. Everything will be in the deck list below, so if you're interested in playing it, obviously you can go there. With all that said, let's go ahead and dive into the games. Oh, I get choice? Very cool. Yeah? Play Sanctum, pass it up. We want this to copy something important, right? So, feels like... Why would I have it copy anything else? Now we'd be hoofing around. We can use this to counter an instant spell or sorcery, I believe. Yeah. When we get to kind of those later games, we can tap this for mana and then use the in-web. Looks like maybe a Helix. Worth it. Probably worth it. Oh, we just let it go, I guess. It's weird because I feel like I'm supposed to defend that, but I have that like kind of best of 1 brain on. Whereas like, sure, if I counter that and then they do something, like, I feel like this feels much better, right? Turn. I want to return the land or the cub? Probably just the cub, right? Sure. And we do find a land, which is pretty important here. It won't really matter which way we go. Set up a turn. See if we're just fine here. If not, then obviously we're in a bit of trouble, but rediscover the way. So a turn off. 2 here, 3. I go Mockingbird on for 1 mana. I can copy the cub. Here. This is 9, right? Sweet. All right, cool. I thought we had it there. I wasn't. Again, games we're just now starting to play. I think we probably played that okay. I forgot it does this weird stuff, man. Rock seems okay against Jeskai. I feel like we obviously want this. I think 2-0. That's just a fight spell. Return all. No. We have a 1-1 and it gains indestructible. It could be playing the 3-mana artifact remove. This is the problem of not playing a ton, at least of myself. Not playing a ton of best of 3. So I kind of fall weirdly short here. Trim on that. Maybe just having 3 of these is good. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of these. What do we end up cutting? Because the thing we want to be able to do is play Ouroboros and then leave up like this protection spell. But I guess it does the same if I have the counter spell. Maybe I go just like trim on these. Again, I'm going to make trims that make no sense to literally anybody. Just for the fact that I am a little bit newer to this deck when it comes to playing best of 3. And understanding exactly what card goes where for what reasons. Again, obviously, this feels pretty easy. Give a creature 1-1, give it indestructible. Something like Ouroboros, it's going to obviously love that. I don't like that it's disappearing. And then, obviously, Nature's Rhythm. Oftentimes when we cast it, it's either going to get interacted with and we're just going to let it happen and then maybe harmonize it later. And then we're... Lies isn't really a card we have to worry about. I just think playing heavy counter and just kind of winning with what we put in is better. So I'm going to settle with this. Maybe this is a card that we don't need, and maybe Riddler's there for grind value, but I feel like 3 Riddlers is just going to be good enough. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I don't know. Also, my hair is like a mess. They already mauled before the game showed me my hand, but we have an Ouroboros, so we keep. We can maybe get some stuff down that's pretty good. Obviously, a Landware Elf draw here would be sick. Plays tapped. Try to lead into a Weaver. They play a tap land, so obviously we have the clearance. A Get Lost gets out of there. So I kind of feel like with Get Lost Bend, they either have plenty or they're really digging for a land. That's what it feels like to me. There's a Helix. Cleans this up pretty well. Riddle here. See if we can't dig for an extra land. Sure. Obviously, I think they missed the land, right? Yeah, because they were on the play. We kind of guessed that if Landware Elf stays and we hit a land, we get the Ouroboros, but Helixes are coming in, doing their job. We're also now digging for land here. Discard a card. 3 Ouroboros is probably too many. They hit the land now. It's a cruel world out there, man. You just got to deal with it sometimes. Here. To here. Hold this up. Again, once we can kind of keep staggering, we're just going to be pretty happy campers in the turn. Let's just force them to keep interacting, right? The thing is 1, 2, 3, use this, and then this will like untap. If we hit the land, then obviously we're good. Helix. That's 3 Helixes and a Scorching Dragonfire, which obviously, you know, our opponent would prefer something else other than that. Obviously, not exactly what they want to see. And then let's just kind of get some stuff out there, grow this board on 2 lands. I'm just so not unimpressed. It's just like I just don't know what they do to get back in, especially if they miss lands. But sure, get that win, and then we move on very quickly. Okay, cool. We'll play first. It has to be like not enough going on, right? Be a little too much going on. Let's see. I don't know. Are you supposed to be one of these and keep the second one of these? For 1, say go. We could do this for 0 if we'd like. Sure. Pass. This can be used to make one of any color, so if there's a certain spell that sucks for us, we can just tap the Weaver and go that way, but we're not going to do that. Huh. We'll give them something to eat in our graveyard, but oh, that doesn't just oh, because mana wasn't spent to cast on it. Oops. Why did I think it would enter as that? Because of 1. I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I did that. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just use this to copy so it has flying. Big. Pretty bad one actually, which is funny, but honestly probably could just block now, but or a land from playing this. Maybe even having the flyer won't even be necessarily that big of a negative here. Here. A little bit of pressure here, maybe. Counter a spell, potentially. You're obviously going to get to draw there. I just don't know what creature they'll have or a spell that they'll have in the late. This might be even just a bad card in general. I lied. It'll be a very good card. Making a mistake with this and maybe be okay. Six, 7, okay. We want. We actually do want it that way, right? Yeah. Could be enough. I'm not counting. 2 hitting is 14, so and 3 are gonna hit, so it's minimum 21. Messing up this is a spectacle to behold, that's for sure. So now we have a weird problem, right? Because it feels so whack to be like, oh yeah, well, we need these because of the card you're playing. However, we should be able to blitz the board hard enough, you would think. Target player control to their hand. Maybe this is a rebuke match? I just really don't know. Maybe I'm just supposed to be like way faster, right? Maybe flood mauls is just good. Because like if they do put something in big that gives haste. I don't feel like I have time for Riddler. In the late game, I feel like I get crushed. Riddler's so good. Maybe same here. They played the main board Scavenging Ooze, so this feels bad. And it feels like this is probably going to be bad. I'm really trying to convince myself to play this. And along with like the fight thing here. But I think just bouncing in this matchup might be good enough. They seem like a way bigger deck, just like creature for creature. Obviously, our Boroid can outgrow their stuff, but we have to have the time there. Let's see. Maybe this is just what we run. But really, I just probably need 1 DeckTech to win. It feels like anyway. Obviously, sideboard options can make that a bit different. You can also counter like an ETB trigger off of it, right? But bonus first, sure. Land war. And then we just like play. I guess you could also counter your Riddler. if they were dead, but like again, I think doing that doesn't necessarily blitz them like we're wanting to do. They need accelerants, they need stuff to do. If our turn is like play Flood Maul and a mana dork and then go that route, it's just like not that big of a problem. Alright. I do have to be somewhat, well, my plan is to blitz them, so I don't have to be careful at all. If they play something like a slag or something like that, then we just lose to it, right? Here. Fever. A fire magic could be a card, so I think I'm gonna play the pollinator just in case, maybe. That does give us like a land draw opportunity. Fire magic doing one. I can't remember exactly how it's worded. Is it 2 to deal 2 or is it 3 to deal 2? I know it like gets exponentially worse, but sometimes you just have to do that, which is whack, but we'll see. I don't know. Really don't. You got it for me, Bros. Never mind. It's 2. And it took them that long to think of that plan. Incredible. I thought it was 3 for some reason. Our opponent is like, what if I blow up their whole board for free? Yeah, for some reason I thought here was 3 mana to deal 2. It's just not a card I play against best of 1 very often, so I just wasn't on that kind of that plan. Sure. You're missing a red, weirdly enough. Obviously, we're going here. We would have taken a land over this, but especially considering I think we put one at the bottom, right? Or no, we just cut one. Sure. Still in the same boat of like, if I rip a land, it'd be good. Another one, gain more life, sure. Would like to do this and then hold up this is where I'd like to be, but well, not necessarily going to be able to do it. Or I could just do this anyway. 2 mana. Maybe I just do this and just see if they have it. I'm down to do that. And okay, they just didn't have it. Nice. That's the thing in best of 3, this different best of 1 is you just force your opponent to have it more in best of 3 because the best of 1 hand smoother doesn't bail you out as much. But yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Play. I think it's just too much of nothing to keep, right? Yeah, I mean, this is just better, right? And I weirdly want to keep the lands, I think. Because of Riddler. I just want to be able to dump my hand as fast as possible. Then it's just what? Land, Badger Mole. If Badger Mole lives, we go right into Ouroboros, and then you have the Riddler kind of play. Still playing it here. 1 open red mana could definitely be removal, but no removal there makes me feel pretty confident. Yeah, that makes sense. So did they draw that? Wow. Sometimes it just don't matter, brother. I mean, I think it's just get everything out, right? Just leading into this Riddler play. But right now I have 6 mana. Play this and Riddler. Let alone if somehow I hit another one, but 4 mana exactly. Well, actually, no. We're a little short. Let's riddle here. Go here. See what's up. Again, just an Ouroboros would also maybe clutch this too. They're at 4 mana now, slowly working it up. Sure. It'll allow me to keep more creatures up, so I feel like playing it and docking is just better. Lightning Strike's obviously not available right now. They're down 1 too many. Hold for 1 turn. Especially when we have another one, right? Like, we just grow our board so large next turn. For 1. That's a card we have to be careful of. Yeah. Oh, they tap out. I was not ready for a tap. Oh, okay. I don't know. Probably not worth. I just learned that you can drag them all now. This is actually one of my complaints when I played before, is you had to like do plus minus. At least mine made me do plus minus. I don't know if that's obviously the case for everybody. Riddler, although good, maybe a little slow. Don't feel like that's a plan of mine. Or bring like these, and then this version doesn't play Leyline, I don't think, so I'm not really worried about that. I really haven't looked at the best 3 meta all too much lately. A little part of me is like, bring this in just for indestructible, but that seems a bit whack, right? Are we happy with this? Yeah, probably. It's probably only playing 1 Crater Hoof's good. And we know with Badger Mole Cub how good nature's rhythm can be. It's kind of hard to like cut that card. And except in maybe spots like this. We have to mull, of course. I mean, that hand's mulled regardless anyway. Unfortunately, the hoof has to be hoofed. Air Claw, sure. And we're just rushing out. They know how it is. Obviously, I'm not blocking. Never know. We might. Oh. Sure. Cool. Here to here. The reason we do that is so we can hold up the Flood Maul, of course. Might be some foreshadowing to them, but who really knows? Not my place. I suppose. No attack there. Seems a little weird, but sure. I guess we just make them attack first, right? Yeah. Back to your hand, please. Here, and hope it holds for a turn. Only, well, now 3 cards in hand. If they play a land, obviously it has a way better chance. Then we're just going to play this about as brick wally as we can. The only way we lose here is by blocking with Ouroboros, I think. Yeah, because I feel like they have the full boar in hand. It gives +3, whatever. So what if we do this? I don't really need another Ouroboros, so let's just do this tapped. What if we do A1, I guess? No. Do I want a needlehead? Probably, right? Or maybe not. Maybe it's not worth it. Like our thing's huge. Throw a block or a attack here. And then we'll just have plenty next turn to win. Yeah, I would say I think we just attack with one and then we have plenty to win the game. So cool. Taking that, heading into Plateau territory. It is weirdly much easier. I don't say weirdly because it's obvious. It's like kind of easier to climb because you just have to win 3 matches and you're through a tier, and you get like a break game, right? Where if you lose, it's whatever, right? So cool. Oh, who do I need to thank for being on the play all the time? Oh, sure. Oh, hi, Batty. All right, in this match, we definitely full bore this out. But brother, we just need to get to our good cards. Yeah, I know that card. I know that card. Sure. You can play this game. Just because we went first, weirdly. We just didn't have a dork, so it's a bit weird. I do kind of want to hold this up. Just having the same game here, I suppose. Want to trade Badger Mole Cubs? I didn't figure. But we're holding this mainly to counter like an Ouroboroi trigger or like a Crater Hoof. If you notice right now, we have 9. 6, 9. Yeah. So this is a little bit low on our spectrum of things that we need to hit, but we'll see. Oh wait, they just make 4, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I was like, wait, these actually make 4 mana. Sure. I could be hoofing here. Hold up. I mean, I'm definitely hoofing here, right? Huh? Got a lot of mana. You got for me? Are you hoofing? I just get to counter that. Ass. Or they get a little large. If they swing, they lose. I'm good. Believe it'll be enough regardless. Especially with this. Right, because this makes 4. I'm not crazy. Yeah. Green. I guess it has to be tapped anyway, so I might as well do it for 9. 10. Some reason 5, 6, 7, 8. For some reason I couldn't remember how much Crater Hoof was. because sometimes you just don't matter. You just play everything. Yeah. Okay. Well, they left, so we get it, I guess, by default there. All right. So calling it there. Unfortunately, I feel like that game was in my head already as the last one. Just kind of unfortunate they end up leaving there, but it is what it is. Learning this, I made a couple of other crucial mistakes in different games where it was just like deck inexperience, and I just didn't quite know what the angle we were trying to do and what kind of options we were trying to get to. So fortunately, we just kind of, like, that was before I even started recording. Like, I was recording just in case something crazy happened, right? Because sometimes, you know, you gotta clip form, but yeah, I mean, the deck's good, obviously. So that's really all I gotta say. I just wanted to really try it out today and play the Simic Badger Mold deck, and I do feel like I've been saying it for a while, where I do want to play best of 3 a bit more, because like in terms of gameplay, sometimes it's even easier to record because you can sometimes get 3 matches in one, like 3 games, 1 match. But it also just like, when the meta is toxic, it's always hard to do best of 3, because like when Vivi was running around, for example, you would run into it in best of 3, and then I would be forced to kind of play like a 30-40 minute game and probably not upload it because nobody really wants to watch that, right? But where kind of spells right now is a lot of graveyard hates being out there, and a lot of decks are able to kind of compete with it. Something like this, for example, is able to kind of outrace it because of Badger Mole Cub, and is able to get ahead of it a lot of times, where they're like, oh yeah, that is an Ouroborroid on 3, how do I beat that? And you just like run them over. But at least you have play there, right? And you get to kind of interact. As you can see in the sideboard, we have whether we want to make our stuff uncounterable, we have things that bounce things if we need it, and then obviously like Rex Sage and a couple of other things that blow up artifacts like this, but also give our creature indestructible. So it's kind of got 2 purposes, but not good enough really for the main. But Origin Metal Bending, I haven't actually looked at the art. That's sick that it's like just almost a screen grab. Like, this is what they should have been instead of the screen grabs, like the art remade of a scenario, right? So it is what it is. But with that, we'll take it there and we'll call it. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.